Good evening, everyone. We are studying part 2 of the lesson MIJBIL the Otter. So, early in the new year of 1956, I traveled to southern Iraq. So, Gavin Maxwell in the year 1956, he traveled to south part of Iraq. By then, it had crossed my mind that I should like to keep an otter instead of a dog, and that Camusferna, ringed by water, a stone's throw from its door, would be an eminently suitable spot for this experiment. Here, what the writer is saying that he wanted to keep otter, not a dog. So, in place of dog, he wanted to keep an otter with him, and the area where he lives, that is Camus Frona, is also very suitable to keep this otter because it shoots. And he wanted to conduct an experiment. He wanted to check whether otter lives happily with him or not at the area of Camus Frona. So what we are learning here, he wanted to keep otter in place of dog because we know that already his pet animal dog died, so he is already very sad. So next time he don't wanted to keep dog, so that's why he chose otter. When I casually mentioned this to a friend, he as casually replied that I had better get one in the Tigris masses. When I asked my opinion to my friend, that of my friend said that okay, you can have the otter, but otters are more commonly available in Tigris marshes. So Tigris marshes is the best area where otters are very common like mosquitoes and were often tamed by the Arabs. Here, otters are tamed, that is caught, catch by the Arab people. Arab peoples are very popular in collecting these otters, in particular this area. I mean, Arabs will catch these otter and provide to us, as the author is saying here. We were going to Basra to the consulate general to collect and answer our mail from Europe. So here the writer with his friend, they were going to where? They were going to consulate general. So they were going to Basra. From Basra to the consulate general, they were going for what? To collect and answer our mail from Europe. So mail will come from Europe. We will answer to that mail which will come from Europe. At the consulate general, we found that my friend's mail had arrived, but that mine had not. In consulate general, what happened? My friend had received the mail, but I didn't. I cabled to England, that is, I called to England. And when 3 days later nothing had happened, I waited for 3 days, but nothing had happened. I tried to telephone. Once again, I tried to call. The call had to be booked 24 hours in advance. So the condition is that if we want to call 24 hours in advance only, we have to book, then only we can call, or else it is no chance to call. So advance booking is very compulsory before calling. On the first day the line was out of order. So when I tried to call England first day, it was saying that the network was out of order. On the second, the exchange was closed for a religious holiday. Second day when I tried to call England, so that day religious holiday was there, so I was not able to call. On the third day there was another breakdown, so third day was also I didn't able to call to England. My friend left because he got email and everything, the work he had that was finished, so he left. But I arranged to meet him in a week's time. 5 days later my mail arrived. So 5 days I waited, after that I received mail. Who is saying here? The writer, Gavin Maxwell. I carried it to my bedroom. I took that mail to my bedroom and read. And there squatting on the floor in my bedroom. They're squatting on the floor. I mean, I took rest on feet. That is called squatting. So when we take rest on our feet, that's called squatting. Were two Arabs. So when I was in my bedroom, who came there? Two Arab people came. Beside them lay a sack that screamed from time to time. So those two Arabs, they brought with them a sack. In that sack, something was there. Screamed means that sack was moving here and there, twisted about time to time. They handed me a note from my friend. They give me a note. That note belongs to my friend. From my friend, they gave me a note. In that note, what was written? In that note, there is a written script in this way. Here is your otter. So, in that note, what is written? Here is your otter. So, that is in that sack, there is a otter. That's why the sack is moving here and there, shaking here and there. So, next, what happened with the opening of that sack? It began a phase of my life that has not yet ended. When I opened that sack that Arab had given, really I wondered, because in that sack, what contains otter is there. For all I know, not end before I do, it is in effect a thraldom. Thraldom means old fashioned, being under the control of. So that is called thraldom. Thraldom to otters and otter fixation. So here fixation means a very strong attachment towards otter. That is called otter fixation. That I have since found to be said by most other people who have ever owned one. So I became totally close with otter, that the writer wants to say. The creature that emerged from the sack onto the spacious tiled floor on the consulate bedroom. So we know that the writer was in the bedroom. The bedroom was in consulate. Okay. So when he saw that otter, really he was totally attached with that. And that otter resembled most of all a very small medievally conceived dragon. So here the writer said that the otter was looking like dragon. The otter was looking like dragon. From the head to the tip, that is otter's head to the tip of the tail, he was coated with symmetrical pointed scales. So outer body was totally covered with what? Coated with what? Symmetrical pointed scales. It means the body was covered with totally scales of mud. I mean that outer body is totally covered with dirty mud armor. That mud is acting like a armor that is, security purpose. It is acting like a security, that is armor. I mean, it is securing, that mud is securing that otter animal, between whose tips was visible a soft velvet fur like that of a chocolate brown mole. So there is a mole which color was chocolate on the otter body. He shook himself, that is otter body. Otter shook its body. So that time what happened? I half expected a cloud of dust. You see, when otter shook its body, lot of dust came out. But in fact, it was not for another month that I managed to remove the last of the mud and see the otter as it were in his true colors. Now, it took 1 month to clean the body of the otter, means it was so dusty. After that, the real color of otter was visible. MIJBIL, as I called the otter, I named the otter as MIJBIL, was in fact of race previously unknown to science. It was previously unknown to science and was at length christened. Christened means named by geologist. So, according to geologist, the name of the otter is Lutrugale perspicillata. I'm sorry for pronunciation. It is, I think I am wrongly pronouncing. So the scientific name, that is the zoologist name of otter is Lutrogale perspicillata Max Valley. This is the name, or Maxwell's otter, we can say. The scientific name is Lutrogale perspicillata. For the first 24 hours, Mijbil was neither hostile nor friendly. So first 24 hour, Mijbil, it treated with me not like a friend, not like a foe. I mean, it was normal. It was totally not foe, not friend. He was simply aloof and indifferent. So here the meaning of aloof means not friendly. So it was not friendly with me during first 24 hours, choosing to sleep on the floor as for from my bed. So choosing to sleep on the floor, it was actually sleeping on the floor first 24 hours during the time, as far from my bed as possible. So it was sleeping away from my bed. The second night, Mizbil came on to my bed. Second day, it was closing with me. It became a close friend of me, and it slept with me on my bed in the small hours and remained asleep in the crook of my knees. So it was sleeping near my knees. Crook means bending. So until the servant brought tea in the morning, so servant gave me tea during morning time, and during the day he began to lose his apathy and take a keen, that is apathy means absence of interest. So during early days it was not showing interest. Okay, a loss of his apathy. Much too keen interest in his surroundings, I made a body belt for him. So I made a body belt for him and took that otter on a lead to the bathroom. So I took otter where to bathroom, where for half an hour he went wild with joy in the water. Otter was playing very happily in the water. Plunging means it is jumping, and rolling its body in water, shooting up and down the length of the bathtub underwater and making enough slosh and splash for a hippo. So you see, it was making a lot of sound when it was playing in the water bodies. This I was to learn is what do we say is a characteristic of otters. So I understand a lot of different characters of otters when it was playing in a water body. Every drop of water must be, so to speak. So to speak means as it were extended and spread about the place. A bowl must at once be overturned. So, or if it will not be overturned. So otter was playing in the water and making a lot of sound, and water was overflowing. Water must be kept on the move and made to do things. When static, it is wasted and provoking. When water is static, that time, otter don't like the static water. It always like the moving water. So otter always don't like static water. We understand from this. So 2 days later, Mizbil escaped from my bedroom. So it escaped from my bedroom as I entered in the bedroom, and I turned to see his tail disappearing round the bend of the corridor that led to the bathroom. By the time I got there, he was up on the end of the bathtub. So Otter was in the bathroom when I saw. It was trying to open the, that what do we say, tap. It was trying to open the tap in the bathtub and fumbling at the chromium taps. Fumbling means trying to do something in a clumsy manner. It was trying to open the tap with his paws. I watched, amazed. In less than a minute, he had turned the tap far enough to produce a trickle of water. So it tried to open the tap, and water was falling down. And after a moment or two, achieved the full flow. He had been lucky to turn the tap the right way. On later occasions, he would sometimes screw it up still tighter. So after that, It closed the tap and it was so tired that next time it was unable to open the tap once again, chittering with irritation and disappointment at the tap's failure to cooperate. So tap was not able to open and close. So that's why Otter was very anger. Very soon Midge would follow me without a lead and come to me when I called his name. Whenever I called the name of Otter, that is Miss Bill, it was running towards my side. So now it became a close friend of me. He spent most of his time in playing. He spent hours shuffling a rubber ball. It was always shuffling a rubber ball. Shuffling means what we say. So here shuffling means it is mixing a rubber ball round the room like a four-footed, saucer player using all 4 feet to dribble the ball. So the otter was trying to dribble the ball. Dribble the ball is nothing but moving the ball. It is trying to move the ball from one side to another side, and you could also throw the ball also with a powerful flick of the neck. So here the meaning of flick means a quick light movement. Okay, with its neck it is trying to throw the ball here and there. So what we are understanding that otter is playing with the ball to a surprising height and distance, but the real play of an otter is when he lies on his back and jiggles with the small objects between his paws. So here the meaning of juggle is to keep three or more objects such as balls in the air at the same time by throwing them one at a time and catching them quickly. So this is the meaning of juggle. So here otter is juggling the objects, different objects. It is juggling between his paws. Marbles were Mid's favorite toys. So, Mijbil the otter, we know its favorite toys were marbles. We know the marbles. I show you the picture here. So these are marbles. So otter's favorite game is to play with these marbles. So it is always playing with marbles as a pastime. Pastime means it plays using these marbles as for entertainment. He would lie on his back rolling two or more of them, that is marbles, up and down his wide flat belly without ever dropping one onto the floor. So it is playing with marbles in such a way that a single marble also not falling on the floor. So we will continue the next part in the next video. Thank you one and all.